Hello there friends and welcome to my channel. I am Fairy in Black. You can call me Anna and I do art. If you follow me on social media or saw me at the Ottawa Comic Con, you probably saw this obnoxious flower crown. It attracted quite a lot of attention. In this video, I'll demonstrate step by step how I made this crown. For a project like this, the key component is patience. It is a lot of repetitive work and then waiting. But you'll also need fake flowers, a metal headband, you can get those on Amazon, small chain, metal loops, tools for cutting and twisting wire, aluminum foil, and all the unsolicited newspapers you got in the last few months. And also school glue or Mod Podge and hot glue. I started by cutting the wire into pieces of equal length. This will be the base and support of the headpiece. The headband I used has little wire pieces that keep it in place. I honestly have no idea what they're called in English, but in my language, elements like these are called teeth, so that's how I'm gonna refer to them. They are very important for this design. It would be much harder to make with a completely smooth headband. I wrap the wire between the teeth and twist it so it is secure. Repeat that on the whole length of the headband. I then divide the wires into 7 sections. These will be the branches. Notice how I grouped the wires together. This is done not only to make the base thicker and stronger, but also to make the branches more realistic. I start twisting them all together, occasionally separating a section from the main group to create a smaller branch. This part takes quite a bit of strength, depends on how strong your wire is. The one I use isn't the best, and next time I'd like to use a stronger wire, but at least it was easy to bend. After that, I add a small detail that will play a big part later. It's not necessary to create a flower crown like this, but it is a very nice touch. I use thin wire to attach a little metal loop to the far branches of the headband on each side. Once the wires are ready, it's time to complete the base. I tear sections of aluminum foil and wrap them around the base of the branches to give them a more realistic look. It also helps strengthen the whole construction without adding too much weight. I squish it close to the wire for ultimate support and sculpt the branches into my desired shape. Now that the base is ready, it's time to glue the paper. In a bowl, I mix 1 part glue and 1 part water. Then I take paper towels and tear them into small pieces. Paper towel is thin and gets soft easily, so it is good to glue it first to the aluminum foil. Newspaper is stronger, but also more rigid, even if you soak it in water for hours. So if I used it first, I wouldn't have enough friction to make it stick to my aluminum foil. When dealing with delicate shapes like these branches, it's better to use a softer paper, something I learned the hard way. I glue a layer of paper on all the branches and leave it to dry for a few hours. I come back later to make another layer and then leave it overnight. The next day, I start gluing the newspaper. I again tear it into small pieces and stuck them to the paper towel layers. This is the part when I realized that I should have used paper towel for the whole project. Despite the extra friction, the newspaper would not stick properly, and it was very annoying. The branches are way too thin and delicate for the newspaper, but in the end, it turned out pretty good despite my hours of frustration. I left the newspapers to dry overnight and did another layer the next day. So far, I've been working on it for 3 to 4 days, which is why I said in the beginning that patience is key. For the last layer of paper, I used toilet paper. It's very thin, and when it gets wet, it buckles and creates these folds in the surface, which is the texture I'm looking for to make the branches more realistic. The whole time, I was very mindful of the metal loops I attached before, making sure that I don't cover them. I leave it to dry overnight and start painting the next day. You can use any color you want, but I chose a combination of super dark brown and silver. I coated the branches with dark brown acrylic first. I used a large load of paint on my brush and really patted it in between the cracks created by the toilet paper. I let it dry and then gently coat the surface with silver paint. I barely touch the branch with the paintbrush, so the silver doesn't go between the cracks. I wanted it to be only on the surface. This way I have a dark brown branch with a touch of silver. The next step isn't necessary, but it looks great. I attach a metal loop at the very base of the branches on the far sides of the handbag, exact the same branches in which I attached the loop in the middle. Then I take the silver chain and cut 2 equal pieces of it. I attach one side to the loop on the base and then attach the middle of the chain to the other loop. Repeat on the other side. This is just a subtle decoration. I had to do this now because it would be so much harder after I glue on the fake flowers. Speaking of fake flowers, I took my bouquet and started taking it apart. I tore the flowers and the leaves off their branches and put aside the best looking ones. I got this bouquet from a second-hand shop, but Michael's also has a very nice variety. You can also find fake flowers at the dollar store or online, whatever works for your project. For this crown I have large red roses and fake berries. I used hot glue to stick them to the base of the crown, both on the front and the back, so the whole base is concealed and the imperfect part that I did not properly paint is not visible. Once the roses are in place, I glue the berries and leaves in between them wherever there's space. I don't have a specific order or design for this part, I just improvised. I ran out of hot glue and had to finish the project using super glue. It worked out fine, but I honestly recommend hot glue for something like that. The flower crown is almost complete. I like making crafts like these. Back in the day, my hobby was jewelry making, and honestly, I did pretty much every craft I could. This crown was made specifically for the convention. At first I wanted to cosplay, but then decided that it would be better to create my own character. I was going for a gothic spirit that represents my art in the best way. A beautiful blend of fantasy and darkness. The finished touch is a glass crystal dangling off of each chain. After that, I'm ready to go scare all the boys. My whole look also included a lacy dress and a corset, but I can't make a tutorial on that. To be honest, this is only the second crown I made in my entire life, so I'm not 100% sure I know what I'm doing. A lot of it was my gut feeling as well as familiarity with different materials. I bet there's a way to make this more sturdy and better quality. Regardless, I hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. A lot of people at Comic-Con told me I should start a business making custom fantasy crowns, and honestly, I'd love to do that as another side hustle. It's fun. Maybe practice a bit more till I'm fully comfortable selling. I don't know. I'll think about it. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to support what I do, link down below are my Patreon and my Etsy shop where you can find exclusive content and art prints. I also recommend you follow my Instagram. That's where I'm most active and I constantly post about my life and what I'm doing. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.